AEW star Ricky Starks has provided an update on his AEW contract this coming after months and months of Ricky being off of AEW TV despite reportedly being healthy. We're going to try to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out whether or not Ricky Starks is still indeed under AEW contract, what's going on, what he is going to be doing next, and why it involves a certain man named Cody. We're also going to get into some Kurt Angle news as he talked about WWE, and it wasn't pleasant. Kurt Angle expressing some disappointment at WWE in a recent interview. We're going to get to the bottom of that as well. All that, much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's talk about the man of the hour, the man who has not been seen on AEW TV in a very long time, Ricky Starks. So Ricky Starks, arguably one of AEW's rising stars, a very equipped and skillful young talent who just seemed to fizzle out of existence in All Elite Wrestling, especially after he and Big Bill lost the AEW World Tag Team Championships to Sting and Darby Allin earlier this year. There was talk of some creative differences between AEW and Ricky Starks, and then Ricky has not been seen on TV. He claims that he is indeed healthy, and we had really not seen Ricky up until a couple of weeks ago when he came out and actually involved himself in an indie show. This was the first time we had seen Ricky Starks in a wrestling capacity, basically since March, I believe, of 2024, earlier this year. And he is now scheduled in a match for that show. He was actually hyping up the match itself for Glory Pro Wrestling when he did a recent interview and talked about his AEW status. Here it is. Talking about the match coming up with Claves online, he says, quote, "Well, I can't be stuck at home for too much longer. Obviously, I'd go stir crazy. I saw an opportunity with Cody Lane to come out and challenge for the title. Of course, I thought it was even a better idea because I used to actually live in St. Louis. I used to live in Melville, of all places, so I thought it was a good way to make a return. And also, too, I've known Cody for quite a bit. He used to train here in Texas." I said, well, why not? Why not just come back and test the grit against somebody that I'm very much familiar with? He was then asked about whether or not he is under AEW contract. I believe the question was, are you still under AEW contract? And Ricky Starks confirmed that he was indeed. And as we know, with many people who have AEW contracts, they are allowed to do indie dates as well. So this seems to be one of those situations where there may have not been creative for Ricky Starks. There may have not been anything for him on the AEW TV side of things. So he's now going to have to make his own way in that he's going to go out and do this indie show. And there you see he was facing Cody Lane at this show for the title. And, you know, Glory Pro, for many of you out there who may know this or be from the Midwest, that is a fairly big promotion for the St. Louis area. That is like I'm not going to say a super indie, but it's a very, very well-known local promotion there. And they run some really hot shows. And you'll see from time to time a lot of some of the biggest stars of not only independent wrestling, but AEW as well, who have shown up there from time to time. And, you know, it's in that way, I believe it's a pretty friendly brand to some of the things that AEW is trying to do. As far as Ricky goes, his status with the company has been something that we have talked about for a very long time. And it went from Tony Khan claiming that, you know, Ricky was out with an injury and that was the claim. Then Ricky almost immediately saying, no, I'm just at home. No one's talked to me. No one's giving me creative, whatever. And it does seem like earlier this year there was a report that there were creative differences, that, he and Big Bill were supposed to have a feud, but it was reported that Ricky didn't want that. Whether or not that's true, well, time will tell. One thing that is true is that it is crazy to me. It is utterly bonkers to me that AEW would allow a talent like Ricky Starks to just sit at home and ride out his contract. It is bonkers. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Unless something happened. And I'm not trying to be conspiratorial or anything, but in my head, there's got to be something deeper. Because if you're AEW and you have Ricky freaking Starks, someone who you know on the promo can deliver, someone who you know in the ring can hang with anybody on that roster, from the people down low on the card bringing them up, or the people at the top of the roster like Bryan Danielson and others who he's wrestled and also kept at that level. Ricky Starks is, in my view, one of those once-in-a-generation talent. And unfortunately, for nearly the past, 7-8 months, Ricky has not been used on AEW TV. That is a damning indictment on AEW. If there isn't more to this story and it's just a case of they don't see Ricky fitting in, or there's like a case of like maybe they don't, I don't know, maybe someone backstage doesn't like Ricky. If that is the case, that is WWE levels of petty stuff. Like I'm talking about Vince McMahon in 2019, 2020 levels of pettiness. I don't know what it is. I would assume, and again, this is speculation, that Ricky's contract, is probably going to, again, well, we don't know if injury time is going to be added, but assuming his contract is up, let's say sometime next year, I think he's gone. I think I do not, at this point, I do not see him staying with AEW. And it's for it's a little bit of that old, it's time to leave the territory kind of thing, because it just obviously has not worked out. But it's also like, man, fumbling a talent like Ricky Starks, that's crazy, because second he goes to WWE, he's going to be a massive star. He is quickly going to rise through the ranks in NXT and become a main roster mainstay, because the pure ability this guy has and the built-in types of stories that he can tell with the likes of Cody Rhodes and others, watch out for this dude, man. Watch out. He is going to take over. Guarantee. Just like I guarantee you can save yourself $20 off your first purchase of tickets on SeatGeek when you use the promo code RealTake. Guys, I know all of you out there, you love to go to your concerts, whether it's Chapel Rowan, whether it's, I was going to say someone who definitely got canceled. We're not going to promote Ye on here, but whether it's going to a Ye concert, it's crazy. Anyway, whether you're going to see Chapel Roan, whether you're going to see, Travis Scott, no matter who it is, Drake, even if you want to do that. Look, I don't like Drake, but if you want to go see Drake, you want to go see Drake. Or if you're going to go see a wrestling show like me going to Full Gear, and me going to Saturday Night's Main Event, and me going to AEW World's End, no matter what you're doing, if you need to buy tickets for it, SeatGeek is the place to do it. It is, in my view, the best sports ticketing app out there. It rates tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, so you know precisely the deal that you are getting. And today, I am going to help you save $20 off your first purchase when you sign up using the link in the description. All you got to do is click that puppy, download the app, sign up, whatever, and then use that promo code RealTake. Boom, right there, $20 off your first purchase. And you get that. You can do with it whatever you want. You got an extra $20 just laying around your wallet now. You want to go use that at parking? You can use that at parking. That's an extra $20 for you. Go get yourself a damn burrito at Chipotle. Go do it. You deserve it. With guac, baby. Let's go. Guys, SeatGeek, promo code RealTake. When you sign up, get $20 off today. And now, as I move on from total show mode, we are going to switch gears and talk about our final story of the day. Let's talk about Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, at one point, was he the only? One of the only Olympic gold medalists in the history of professional wrestling. Kurt Angle, in a recent interview with WrestleZone, actually sounded off on WWE, expressing some major disappointment at the way things ended for him there. Here he was talking about his final match with Baron Corbin and about Baron Corbin in general. Quote, "It's a little disappointing to know that he beat a legend at WrestleMania, the Legend's last match, and they didn't do much with him after that. For me, it makes me feel like I did that for nothing. He didn't need a character. He could be him. He was entertaining as it is. So I was just a little disappointed that they didn't do much with him and they let him go." Obviously, this comes off the heels of Baron Corbin and a few other people either not being re-signed or released from their WWE deals. In the case of Corbin, he was not re-signed, so his contract will elapse at some point pretty soon here, and he will not be retained by the company. Corbin, of course, wrestled Kurt Angle in Angle's final match at WrestleMania 35 back in 2019, live from MetLife Stadium, in one of the most forgettable last matches we have ever witnessed. For a legend like Kurt Angle, and someone who not only, of course, legitimately has achieved what he has, being the Olympic gold medalist, being all that stuff that they tout, but just in the world of professional wrestling, everything that he accomplished, everything that he did, being probably the best, I don't think there's been anyone who's picked up professional wrestling and soared with it as quickly as Kurt Angle did. I don't think there's anyone. And the fact that he was able to do that, quickly establish himself as a champion and a world champion within a year, it's nuts. It is nuts. But that's what Kurt Angle did, and that's what Kurt Angle does. And outside of WWE, he obviously had multiple title reigns as the world champion in TNA. Arguably, some of his best work was in TNA when him and Samoa Joe were going at it, when him and Christian Cage were going at it, the Main Event Mafia, so on, so on. Kurt Angle has one of the most illustrious and accolade-filled careers there's ever been. And that is why in 2019, when WWE decided to have him lose to Baron Corbin, and that was going to be his final match, when the entire fan base was clamoring for John Cena, when everyone and their mother knew that John Cena versus Kurt Angle was probably the best way to end Angle's career, when Kurt Angle was pleading with Vince to let him wrestle Cena in his last match. Instead, Vince in 2019 said, "You're going to wrestle Baron Corbin." And the result was what it was: a pitiful, pitiful last match for Kurt Angle. It's something that doesn't represent, it doesn't represent Kurt. And that's not an indictment on Kurt. The match was given 6 minutes, even if that, to shine on a card that had 20 matches on it. And it was a throwaway match, because Corbin hit him with the end of days, 1, 2, 3, and Angle's career is over just like that. Didn't sit well with people at the time, still doesn't sit well with many. And to know that the trajectory of Corbin's career after that, to know what that was, and to know that, while Corbin, he did some good stuff in NXT. He did some very good stuff in his late run in NXT. To see that they were not able to turn that into anything, it heartbreaking. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's disappointing for sure. And I agree. And I definitely see Kurt Angle's disappointment. He should be disappointed. You're talking about one of the best wrestlers of all time. And WWE, a product that has the ability to bring in John Cena, to bring in anyone. They could have had anyone. But instead, It was Kurt Angle and Corbin. You could have had him wrestle Rey Mysterio. Those two had great matches in the SmackDown 6 era. But no, Baron Corbin. Not an indictment on Corbin, but it's an indictment on the booking for sure. Because that match shouldn't have happened. But it's all history now, just like this video. But guys, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Who should Kurt Angle have wrestled in his final match in WWE? I want to hear from you. Do you want to see Kurt Angle wrestle again? Because who knows? Kurt Angle's last match, it could be a pay-per-view hit, Conrad Thompson. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Also, let me know what you guys think about Ricky Starks. Do you want to see him in WWE? Do you want to see him leave AEW? Do you want to see him come back into the fold? And who do you want to see him wrestle? I want to hear all of that, much more in the comments. Also, be sure to leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.